Matt, will you operate that mic from here or?
It's just the microphone.
Madam President. Yes, sir.
Yes, okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay, ready.
Mr. President, are there the normal protocol to call the meeting to attention?
Councilwoman Brown is in charge of finance meeting, so she will take it from there, then she'll turn it over to you.
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
President.
Thank you.
Okay.
Oh,
Backside, you gotta go on the other side.
all right.
There's that spot right in the middle.
Backwards to the camera.
Yeah, right.
Do we have it? We don't have it. I left mine in my car.
Me,
You got your budget?
Mine in my car. It's a great place for it.
I got my car.
You want me to grab it for you?
Huh? I'm ready whenever you're there. I don't have mine. Mine's in my car.
You got yours?
Okay.
Okay.
I can go get it. Oh, it's there.
No, her gonna give you, we got her gonna give you.
He's not gonna know which time it is. I got so many envelopes. It's not marked.
I know, I think, I think we took it out yesterday. And the more it is,
Oh, all right.
Upgrade.
All right. All right. Let me take off my garbage.
Well, we started, come back and then do the presentation again, and then we come back and do the budget.
Okay, you want to let them? Okay. Okay. Susie, come back to this part.
it's Nancy, City movie, I said it's Nancy, so the movie theater, you think we could sit together long and watch a movie? Well, sit together long enough, and then we'll go.
Movie night. I went to Indianapolis, Culver Sun, in a movie night. Friday, Saturday, it was cold though. Right, he told everybody before they came, dress warm, bring your blanket or something. Be outdoors. Out in the yard, right? Legacy Blues. So Carl come back already, right? How many ready to train? You ready? Where? They had popcorn.
What's going on?
Ripping and running, that's about it.
Yeah, that's good. I was ripping and running for a reason.
Yeah, it's a good reason.
Yes, thank you.
It was really different. outside.
No, we wouldn't be able to do it. Yeah, outside, you know, I went to, Miller, they did it outside. Back in the,
Okay.
it was illegal, some of the wheelchairs.
And like I said, he called everybody and told them to bring something warm, so we're gonna be outside. And, we did. All right. And, brother and girlfriend. Yeah, a lot of things. Presentation first and then go about this. Yeah. Okay.
He's coming back. It's gonna be good. Everybody has a problem.
Okay. We're ready whenever you are.
We're ready.
Good evening. This evening, this is a very special meeting of the Gary Common Council. It's being held at the Gary Chicago Airport. It is on this evening's agenda is the 2019 budget and financial matters for the Gary Chicago International Airport. We will begin with a 30-minute presentation and question and answer session, and then we will go to the budget. Present this evening is our Council President, Ron Brewer, Councilwoman of the 5th District, Linda Barnes Caldwell, Councilwoman of the 1st District, Rebecca Wyatt, Councilman at Large, Herb Smith, and Councilman of the 2nd District, Mr. Michael Proto, I'm sorry. So we're going to begin with the presentation. As I said, we are hosting this meeting this evening at the Gary Chicago International Airport. This is a very special meeting. We're going to have a 30-minute presentation first, and then we will get into the budget and financial matters of the Gary Chicago International Airport. So we're ready.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Welcome and good evening, everyone. Mayor Karen, Gary Common Council, distinguished members, staff, guests, and our tenant partners. It is truly an honor to host you here tonight and to be the executive director of the Gary Chicago Airport. This presentation, hopefully you'll enjoy it, and it will be a supplement to the tour that we just had. Can we dim the lights, please?
And before we get started, I need to acknowledge the fact that our mayor is here, Mayor Karen Freeman Wilson. I am so sorry, Mayor. I acknowledge you. I'm sorry.
Our story, well known, 25 miles from close proximity to Chicago downtown, unique for us, but also challenging also, and my presentation will speak to that point. 2 world-class FBO, fixed base operators, corporate, general aviation, a lot of cargo and freight. A lot of people don't know. We do a lot of cargo and freight here and more potential for more, and we will pivot and always look to expand development of this airport with all types of air carrier service. On the agenda tonight will be an overview of the airport. Definitely there are things that occurred between 2014 and 2018 that just was a launching pad for us. Ongoing projects and capital improvement initiatives, workforce development, community service, impact. When we talk, Councilman, about being recognized and what is the leverage and niche that we have for this region, and also new opportunities. Current goals, these are the focus areas that the Board of Authority has challenged me to focus on to really leverage where we are. Operational efficiency, revenue generation with different development initiatives, maximize the airport as an asset to this region. That's the branding that I talked about during the tour that really shows that we will complement and support the Chicago airport system that just dominates the Great Lakes region area. Enhance marketability, increase service capabilities, and translate private sector to public sector to private sector investment. Airport overview, economic engine. Right now we have 240 full-time employees here. Avco Airports, that staff is 15 full-time employees, and right now we're vetting additional maintenance and operations personnel to bring that up to 19 total. The additional remaining employees are serviced via our tenants, and they're either full-time staff or support and contracted personnel to supplement their business operation and their facilities here. 22 million private sector investments since 2014. The slides will definitely show the two FBOs, their expansion projects was very impactful. 23,600 operations. And additional slides show where that's variable due to weather and other factors that impact our operations count. GYY Authority, right now we have 7 members. Our chairman is appointed by the governor is Mr. Tim Fesco. 4 representatives appointed by the mayor. Denise Dillard, who is here tonight, is the vice chair. Chantre Irving, Mr. Steve Mays, Ms. Alicia Pritchard is our secretary. Currently, the Lake County seat is vacant, and the Porter County seat is occupied by Mr. Dave Fagan. I apologize for his name. The compact. In 1995, the city of Gary entered into a compact with the city of Chicago to leverage the capital and operational efficiencies of O'Hare, Midway, and the Gary-Chicago Airport. We're more than a reliever for them. We're more than a virgin. We complement and support that. This is the 3rd regional airport for this area. That compact is strong, is vital for us, and it is part of the mandate that while we are continue 139 compliant. FAA Regulations Part 139 is the federal guidelines that we have to maintain and operate this airport to have air carrier service here. So we continue to keep that index and that rating certification because of this compact and because it helps us attract air carrier service and development. I may continue. In 2014, the authority entered into agreement with Avco Airport. That agreement was based on their renowned management and marketing and development of the 12 to 16 airports that they manage around the world. Westchester, Teterboro. They give us day-to-day operational oversight and management from administration, safety and security, financial management, air service development. They give us technical and engineering support for different development initiatives and day-to-day operations here. So that's that 3P, public-private partnership initiative that is very strong and vital to us because of the unique skill set that the Avco Airports team presents us. They recently, on that second bullet, were just aligned under Goldman Sachs. And we celebrate that alignment, but when you have a corporate financial giant like Goldman Sachs acquiring you in a merger agreement, that means they believe in that. And I'll say this for the record, they had their chief operation officer with Goldman Sachs come here and sit down with the staff for 6 hours, giving a snapshot of where we are in future initiatives that we can work on together. So I was real happy with the initial brief that I got, from the chief operation officer and the CEO, Mr. Ozzie Moore of Avco Airports. and look forward to a lot of good things to come from that merger under Goldman Sachs. If I may continue. Everyone knows I'm Colonel Hayden, and I'm very proud because that's a very special part of who I am and what I've done, and it's the reason I'm here today, all that military training. But the Indiana Army Guard is here also serving us for the war fight, serving us with their facilities and readiness for the state mission, flood, civil unrest, earthquake, whatever. That facility is there, and it's a good training aid for Indiana Guard, and some Illinois units train here too. I told you during the tour, hoist and rooftop rescue simulation training. There's a basic and advanced area that we allow them to train here. More operations, more fuel, but again, we're supporting emergency response and readiness. FEMA Region 5 acknowledges this airport as a potential staging area for emergencies, and also the city of Chicago partners with us when they had the Cubs won the World Series, the NATO summit. Chief Mook and myself were part of that, bedding down those presidential aircraft that based in Chicago, and Gary Chicago National Airport was a key player to that for emergency response and some security initiatives that G14 classified I can't go into right now, but we were in play, and we do supplement and support the city of Chicago with our military and the military unit here with the Indiana Guard. So great stuff. We salute our men and women in the armed forces. Clearing the runway for opportunity. A lot of you were around for this. A lot of you helped. Council members, the mayor, and the business sector helped launch this in 2014. That runway extension was impactful and just, pivoted us to where we are, today and where we're going with all the potential there. So a lot of hard work went in that. That was a great day to celebrate that expansion and just the years of planning and development that went into, moving to class, 1 railroads and extending out to right now just under 9,000 feet. So great day. These exhibits really show the scope and scale. $179 million, public works project, phenomenal for this area, and definitely paying dividends right now. But you can look at the scope and scale of going from there to there. And Airport Road and some other things that other photos and exhibits will show the transformation that's ongoing for this airport. Here it is. We talked about this, and you toured the 2 FBOs, B. Coleman and Gary Jetson, $22 million worth of investment that the Titans have brought in here, sustaining corporate and general aviation and just making an economic impact and leveraging the potential for this. B. Coleman with their 40,000 square foot hangar that we just saw and toured, their operations and flight facility, the Gary Jet Center with their hangars and their flight facility, and both full service FBOs, fixed base operators, maintenance, fueling, crew scheduling, aircraft hangar, maintenance, and charter service. Oh, these are 2 Titans, and we celebrate everything they've done. But that's $22 million that you see in those different bullets, different phases of what they've done in the last couple of years. Different snapshot, especially for those on the camera. Love that you come out and tour these facilities at some point. State-of-the-art premier FBOs in this region. 2 of them based right here at the Gary Chicago International Airport. Boeing, been a corporate partner since 2001. They renewed their lease, and they're here for a reason, because I think they believe in us and the service that we provide here. Their CEO and their VIPs fly out of here, and now they can leave and depart internationally, from here. So that's a game changer. Boeing also partnered with us on branding this airport. July 19th, we had the CABA event. Some of you were there, and it was held in the Gary Jet Center hangar, and it was a way to get corporate and business aviation with the CABA Association to come here, see us, tour the customs facility, and understand that the Gary Chicago Airport is a player in this region. So I appreciate Boeing working with us with that, and they also work with us with a lot of youth programs. I'm going to say, you know, we're working with them and their executive flight director, Mark Jackson, who I love dearly. We're working with some youth internships, paid and unpaid, through corporate aviation. So they're partnering with us directly and silently, but we respect their right for privacy, and we respect them to be a good partner and tenant here long term. Ongoing projects and capital improvement. The master plan update. If you look at the first bullet, it will clearly say what the master plan entails. An assessment by the FAA on our operations count, passenger, the utilization rate of the airport. We do assessment of our facilities to see when upgrades are needed. We do assessment of our infrastructure, and we plan to submit this plan to the FAA for funding for our airport improvement plan, so we can continue making it a safe, viable airport based on the priorities and projects that we will submit for. A lot of it is infrastructure. A lot of it is based on potential operations and how we want to leverage and redesign and develop the airport to supplement that assessment and that feasibility study that the FAA gave us. It's a full process that we welcome public support to help us prioritize where we're going in that process with the public hearings. We're looking to be on schedule for an update from the AFCO Airports team and the selected engineering consultant, Jacobs and Daniels. That will be November, December. We'll immediately schedule public hearings sometime shortly after that, and we hope to have a full plan ready to go and submit it to the FAA sometime in early spring of 2019. This was our game changer. That first bullet yesterday. We knew we had a grand opening of our custom facility. This is phenomenal to have that facility here. It is a testament that we are the Gary Chicago International Airport. And this picture right now, that was yesterday at 11:30 a.m. with the first arrival from Copenhagen, coming in international. Our Chief Bradley and our great fireman did a water cannon salute. The staff was there all celebrating that. The customs personnel were professional. And it was 30 minutes from the time that aircraft blocked in to deplaning. They did their inspection protocol of the passengers, the screening, the agriculture inspection and stuff with the trash and everything, till that aircraft was secured, blocked in, and pushed to a parking spot to remain overnight. That aircraft will depart back through customs later this week as scheduled, and we're already tracking with our other FBO potential second arrival with St. Pablo, Brazil. And I believe that could occur sometime this week or over the weekend. So we are operational for customs. Definitely will impact us with our operations count, and definitely helps with the branding and showing the potential of this airport. So I salute everyone that helped us win the day with that custom facility. $1 million capital project that was completed, vetting it out, with the federal to meet their code requirements for all the screening equipment that they need to have. But big win for us to have that up and running. Again, the customs facility was an additional big win because of the work that it generated. I can't see right now, but somewhere in here, we're talking about the impact of local residents. I think 79 employees were working there, and the subcontractors, Gary residents that got work there. We met our MBE and WBE goals, and the board mandated strong directives on what the project manager had to meet to give work to local residents. We're so happy with the percentage that local residents got that we're going to use that as a template for other workforce initiatives for future projects to make sure that Gary residents are getting their first shot at being a prime contractor or subcontractor and getting these jobs and work opportunities. Major capital projects. All of you who've been in the Gary area understand Airport Road and how the improvement there is a big win for us. Some of you never saw the airport without the EJ and J bridge bridge trestle there now removed, and just the aesthetics that gave us with the removal of that. These were some big wins for us. Landscaping, as we move on the construction and opening of the general aviation facility, I spoke to that. The East Corporate Hangar, we saw that on our tour. That's another big win for us with that, and I'll speak to that a little bit later. Rehab of runway 1230 and 220. In further exhibits, you'll see what we did, with that last April of this year, and a future runway rehab to finish out 1230 spring of next year. 220, 1,900 feet, that was done. So we're constantly upgrading our infrastructure. I showed that to all of you on the tour recently. Apron rehab, you saw that. And then our nav aids, I spoke about how important it is to upgrade those nav aids to get the aircraft with the different grouping and size of aircraft, differently mixed fleet to be able to come here when the minimums are lower and operate here. It really shows that we can be in our premier airport. Again, the exhibit clockwise from the upper left all the way down of the trestle and Airport Road to the lower right, just to see how it is today. It really makes me want to get on the drag strip, but we're happy that everybody can traverse there. And I know that plans to Clark Road right now is under development, and there's plans from the bridge going out to Klein Avenue to tie that in, I think early spring. So big win for us to have that project complete. Oops, did I go too far? East Corporate Hangar. This is a prefabricated metal construction hangar. Right now, as you saw, that they're just putting the roof on, so all walls and the roof will be up by this fall, and we'll build out the infrastructure probably early spring. This hangar will be fully operational, and we'll continue the negotiation with a tenant to occupy that. $2 million investment, great work opportunities for local contractors. And again, it just underscores that, corporate and general aviation is striving here at the Gary Chicago Airport. I talked about runway 220 rehab. You can see the exhibit, 1,900 feet. New concrete, we'll continue to program days and dollars to extend that out going north to complete that. Old asphalt to new concrete just make us safe and more viable. That exhibit there, you see the workers. This was a big win for us. This was runway 1230 rehab project, about 4,500 feet. That was done in 28 days. You go through the pain before the gain, but this was necessary, and it really brought the infrastructure up to code compliance. Great work by a prime contractor, and we have another scheduled project for next spring to tie in runway 1230 and 220 to finish out that rehab project for our main runway. During your tour, you saw the apron. You saw brand new concrete out there. That phase of apron rehab is now complete. I did talk about additional capital projects that we were doing for the taxiways to finish tying that out and upgrade that old asphalt and turn it into good, safe, efficient concrete. Workforce development, community engagement. When we submit an RFP and we open them right here and we follow all the policies and procedures for that, we ask all local contractors, even if you didn't submit to be the prime contractor, maybe attend that opening because you have a chance to be a subcontractor. You build your portfolio, you get a chance to get good work for your company and get the marketing stuff. We're going to develop a matrix to make sure the mandate of local hires is a priority and that these bid openings are always going to be fair and that we look to continue to help the local contractors and local residents have opportunity to help us with the contracts and the bid openings. So when I said the custom facility would serve as a template of how that worked to get a lot of local contractors there, we will use that model, going forward. But please, when we have bid announcements, we ask all citizens, track those bid announcements when they're posted in the paper or on our website. Come in for that, whether you put in as a prime or subcontractor, please come share and help work and get some jobs for your company. Working closely with the Gary Chamber, Northwest Indiana Forum, the RDA, and Choose Chicago. Again, we're looking at marketing the airport and what development initiatives that we can have city, state, and federal support helping us go forward with more capital projects. Everyone knows that we work closely with Tuskegee Airmen. This year we launched the Mayor's Safe Summer Youth Aviation Program. Our tenants was there, but our airport staff really embraced that. We had 6 students from Commissioner Diller in the WDS program with paid internship. We were mentoring them with shadow days, and we were also giving them life skills and interviewing techniques and help them with resume writing. That was the high school students that were here. I think I enjoyed being with them. One young man, Mr. President, you weren't there, but he was talking about wanting to go into engineering. I'm personally mentoring him to think about going into the military, to go in civil engineering, and then let us pay 100% for his college tuition to Purdue. We had 4 interns, college level interns, a young man from Gary, engineering, NGC, our engineering firm, sponsored that, paid engineering internship for some college students. Personally sponsored 2 Gary residents to the ACE Camp, Aviation Career Education Camp at Lewis University for a week. All STEM initiatives that they were. So we've developed a pipeline. 8th grade, you take your first Young Eagles flight here. Freshman year, you go to the ACE Camp. Your sophomore year, you go to EAA Basic or Advanced Flight Academy. Your junior year, we can, the kids who really want to go into aviation, we will help them go to the OBAP, Organization of Black Aerospace Professionals, go to their solo and ground school. And then I'm co-chair of a great organization, 4 years, Tuskegee Next, where we're giving their kids their pilot's license. I welcome anyone to tell me about that because we're recruiting right now. That's $25,000. The youngest man that we had, the student was 17 years old, got his pilot's license. He flew here with Sean Tucker doing the Air and Water Show, and he's now a freshman going to do flight training at Lewis University. We're partnering with Purdue We want to partner with Ivy Tech, and we want to make sure that these kids really see a career path in aviation. So we have the next Colonel Hayden standing in front of you one day that is a local Gary resident. So we're giving back and reaching up to elevate the youth and be impactful. So, you know, it was about 10 last year. I hope it's 20 or 30 this summer, next summer that we can work with. And definitely, as I said, I'm promoting military careers. Impact. We are being recognized. I believe this journal here is one of the premier publications in the industry for aviation. All of these articles are just, you know, tracking all the wins that we have and helping us shape the narrative to look at Gary now, look at all the great things in Northwest Indiana, and look how we can promote business and attract business to this area, and just not this airport. All of this is impactful for us. The custom facility, as you know, on the bottom one is definitely a big win. Operations, key performance indicator, the operations, fuel flow, and landing fees. Again, this is increased year-to-year operations count, and that was because of the runway extension. Larger aircraft can land here, our increased nav age, but our operation count will fluctuate because of some of the closures that we have to have our runway for some of that infrastructure improvement, and it is weather impacted also, but it is still on the up increase year to year. Fuel flow. Larger aircraft are utilized in this airport. That graph shows exactly where we're trending from 2014, 2013 to now. Still on the increase, 82% revenue increase. Landing fee revenue, same thing. More operations, more revenue for landing fees from our FBOs, and get into the airport. It goes back into our operational general fund so we can maintain this airport. Opportunities, cargo and logistics. Those of you who had heard me the spill, corporate and general aviation has been our mainstay and will continue to be so. We believe that cargo and logistics is very impactful. One of our FBOs at one night, I believe in a 4-hour window, serviced 3 747s cargo. A lot more cargo is going on than people know. And when we can have a prime cargo logistics center built here, that's jobs, and that will impact us positively. And that's part of our air service development strategy to do that. Air carrier service. During the tour council, I told you about our terminal and our plans to refurbish that and get an international federal FIS facility in there so we can service international carriers. Again, I said during the tour, when we talk to domestic or international or anybody that wants to do business with us, we want to make sure that they're license bonded, that they're certified, but their business model is smart, that it can be sustainable for us, that they have a good marketing strategy, that they have the right fleet mix to operate at this airport and the other airports they're going to. So air carrier service discussions are ongoing, but we want to maintain what's going on right now, corporate and general aviation, grow that cargo, and again, pivot back to air carrier service, domestic and international. Off-field development and the ADZ, the AFCO, AFWORTS team working with the Gary Development Commission to really the partial lands in and around the airport. So you got on-site and that off-site development that we want to continue to grow. And again, the last bullet, enhance the partnership with the Chicago Aviation. We are a significant part of the Chicago airport system. We want to just make that alliance stronger and then celebrate it and then grow from there. Questions and discussions? It's a tough crowd. I know it was a lot. I tried to keep it under 30 minutes, but Mr. President, council members, I think this was supplemental to the tour you had. I know you got additional business to do, but you know, I was glad to have you here. I'm glad the public here, and you gave me a chance to tell the story of the potential and what's going on at the airport. More to come. More to come.
Well, before we begin the question and answer period, Mr. Hayden, I did not have an opportunity to acknowledge who you were, what your position was before we began. And so I want everyone who is watching this to know Mr. Dwayne Hayden is the Executive Director for the Air Chicago International Airport. And prior to his giving us this wonderful presentation that we just had, he took us, well, he was kind enough to take us on a guided tour. And we had an opportunity to see so many things that some of us had seen some of them before, but not, you know, the finished product. I mean, it is just amazing to me, some of the things that have been done here at the airport since the last time we were here. You know, at the Jet Center and the B. Coleman Aviation, and all the wonderful things that are happening here at the airport. And it gives rise to the fact that wonderful things are happening here, and it gives us an opportunity to be able to say, those people who say there is nothing going on at the airport, gives us an opportunity to say and know what we're speaking of, that wonderful things are happening at the Gary Chicago International Airport. So we certainly want to thank you for that tour, thank you for that presentation, and I don't know if any of my colleagues have any questions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
I have one, Madam Chair. Again, thank you very much for the tour and the presentation. It's been very educational for us.
Yes.
And more for my education than anything else. But as I understand it, there's been a lot of private investment. It's going very well for the two fixed-base operators, the FBOs, and the airport is. Airport Authority is generating revenue so that it can invest in itself. Is there any, how does this development affect the civil city? What benefit do we see, economic benefit?
I think there's a lot to that. There's jobs. There's potential to grow different businesses that will support directly service providers here. I envision a rental-car facility here. I envision hotels and other restaurants and other businesses that support, airports. That is common, and those conversations are ongoing as we procure that land, as we think of development, the ADZ. So I believe that it will transition, and other business initiatives will go. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Any of my other colleagues have any comments or questions? Mr. Proto, you're looking puzzled over there. Do you have a question?
No, I'm not going.
No, oh, okay. Okay.
I enjoyed the tour too.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much, Mr. Hayes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. It was an honor to have everybody here tonight. Thank you all.
Thank you so much.
I want you all to think I skipped that on you all on the tour. I've been out here several times on the tour, and I decision to come back out, give a little bit more information on what goes on.
You were ahead of us, is that what you're saying?
Just a little.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So now we can get into our budget and financial matters, and I think that our controller just went out the door, right? Are you?
I wasn't running out. I see Councilman Grosso.
Okay. We're
My
ready.
apologies.
I baptized the conversation.
Oh, ain't no problem.
I was texting tonight.
Again, I apologize. I'm sorry. Good afternoon, Councilwoman, Councilman, Councilpersons. Today I present to you again the 2019 budget for the Gary Chicago International Airport. Beginning with our salary ordinance. Our salary ordinance is a total of $132,500. This is an increase over last year due to a position of the executive director, which was at one time a part-time position, becoming a full-time position, and that was an increase of $61,000. And I don't, if you have any questions, I can take questions, or I can go through the entire general fund budget.
No.
Okay. So, leading into the general fund budget, as I said, the salary, one of the largest changes we had in our general fund budget over last year, over 2018 to 2019, was that full-time position becoming, a part-time position becoming a full-time. There was an increase in $61,000 in our total budget. Our total budget for 2019 is $5,305,492. And I believe that at the last board meeting, the committee understands that now on the DLGF, they have what they call a tax cap line. So we have to increase those estimated tax revenues that we pretty much, we're looking to not, that negative impact of the collection of tax revenues, which you'll see in the last line item under capital outlays. That amount is, the actual amount is $1,008,416. The other additional $1 million was, we put that in there because our net tax cap rate was lower for our general fund, for our capital cumulative building fund than our general fund, which once the levies are out, then we would collect more in a cumulative building fund rather than the general fund. And we wanted just the opposite. So we increased that line item. That's the reason why our budget is the $5.3 million, which is an increase over our initial meeting a couple weeks ago, which was $4.2 million. But some of the other increases were, we had a significant increase in our gasoline and snow chemicals for the runway, as Mr. Hayden just stated, and you guys well know, the runway was extended in 2015. So we need additional fuel and diesel and snow and ice chemicals to help keep the runway open. Some of the other things that we have a slight increase was in our utilities, our insurance for the airfield, and then we also had a slight increase in our in the services. We're looking to hire 3 new personnel in 2019. So we have currently advertised it on Career Builder, Indeed, many of the internet sites.
What kinds of positions will those be?
We're looking for a maintenance tech and 2 operations officers. And I can get you guys the actual announcement for those positions. So if you know anybody who's interested, I think it's a great place to work at. I work here. But I mean, it's a full-time position, full benefits, 401k plan, the works. It's just, when the winter season comes, this is probably where you'll live at. Okay. But wrapping up the budget, again, I asked for the board's approval of our general fund budget in the amount of $5,305,492. That's the general fund budget. And the cumulative building fund, the budget for the cumulative building fund is $9,698,000. This is the largest portion of our cumulative building fund are the projects that we anticipate in 2019. There, as Mr. Hayden alluded to, we're still doing some work on 1230, which is the main runway. That's the largest part, but we'll be doing some apron rehab work, taxiways, and things like that. And then some of the in-house things that we'll do with our own in-house funds.
Questions, comments from my colleagues? Yes.
Madam Chair. I just was interested, it looks like there's a line for wildlife management.
Yes.
Yeah, what would that be for?
Well, wildlife management, we have problems with deer, coyotes and things like that. So we have, we procure USDA. They send guys out, but we're in the process of trying to certify one of our own employees to be that wildlife person.
Thank you.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I see on the professional service, security services, is this geared police department on security service or what is this security
Well,
service?
we have Gary Police Department during the day, but we also have a contract with Davis Dade Security
Okay.
to roll the airfield at night.
Okay.
Well, not the airfield, but the perimeter.
Okay.
Oh, okay, that's what you're using.
Yes,
Okay, I'm glad you're using them because that's a local company too.
absolutely.
Yeah, from the city, so that's good.
Okay.
Okay.
That's it. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Anybody else? Any questions, comments? Anybody from the public have any comments or questions about the budget? No? Yes.
This is just a point of clarity. So one of the things that was talked about, and I think Councilwoman Hyde asked about funding going into the city. And just making sure the public understands, as revenues grow for the airport, that will go flow into the general fund. And so and I don't know that they heard that. So we just want to make sure we understand those dollars as the airport grows and becomes more sustainable, and those revenues be available to move into the general revenue for the city.
Thank you. Someone else? Okay, well, if there are no further questions or comments, that was the only item that we had on the agenda other than our tour. Once again, I want to extend our sincerest thanks to you, Mr. Hayden, to the rest of the staff, and it was a wonderful tour. Okay.
Well, thank you, Councilman Brown, for allowing us to bring the meeting out here because I thought it was important that we come out here and get more of a idea exactly what's going on and open up to the public. So, you hear a lot of comments and
Yes.
people spectate different things, but they could have came out and had the opportunity to take the tour also with us and see exactly what's going on at the airport. So I appreciate the council coming out here to the airport today.
Thank you very much. And if there are no further comments or questions, the meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Sorry about that.
Nah, yeah, all right.
I did all the table. It's just so good, because I usually